Okay, well, welcome back, folks. Sorry about that. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty there. One of our network providers has not been quite as stable as we'd like today, and we were hoping we could work through it without difficulty, but here we are again. So let's start again with the experience question, since a lot of people have joined since that was asked. Could you give me a little overview about how experience is going to work on the progression server?
The curve is going to stay the same, so it's been smoothed out. There aren't any hell levels anymore, but the rate you gain experience has been slowed down significantly from what it is on live. So after about 5 or 6, you'll really start noticing it'll take longer to level, and you'll be able to spend more time in the lower level content.
Okay, great. Steve, a big question on everybody's minds is, will maps work? Will maps be available from the start?
Right. Maps, it turns out, were never actually locked to any expansions, so maps will work. Same caveats as exist on live, but the feature is not locked to any expansion. So.
Well, I think that definitely leaves it up to the player's choice. They can have the convenience of maps, or they can experience it without maps as they choose. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about the world. What's going to be when? So first off, zone revamps. A number of zones have been revamped. I was looking at the new orc models myself last night and really studying them to see how they've changed. But will it be the old Freeport or the new Freeport?
It's gonna have to be the new Freeport. We need it both for live servers that have all of the Prophecy of Rogue content, and also eventually when the progression server gets there, it'll need all the Prophecy of Rogue content that's in Freeport as well. So zones where we replace the geometry, unfortunately, it's going to be the new geometry in those cases. A lot of zones that got revamped but not remodeled, such as the Hole, will start out in the old data. The Hole, Kazakh Thule, Paw, they'll all be on their original data sets until we get to the expansion where they were changed.
Okay. And for zones that were added in but not tied to a specific expansion, how's that going to work?
We've tried to place them as close to the original expansion where they launched as well. For example, the Hole came in before Kunark, so it's going to be unlocked when we unlock the live server. But Jagged Pine is, I believe, after Plains of Power. Other Nadaria won't be in until Gates of Discord, things like that. The Warrens will be there earlier. The Stonebrunt Mountains will be later, closer to Legacy of Yakesha. So we've tried to lock them as close as they were to the original zones.
Great, great. So another big question I had, because one of my favorite memories in EverQuest is camping for the Mana Stone. Will some of these old items that have been removed from the game come back?
They will be. Some of them will, for a limited time. We were just able, actually just last month, we were just able to get a system in that'll support it. So starting a month in, you're going to see some of the old items that aren't there anymore will be there for a limited time. I'm not gonna go into which ones exactly, but some of them will definitely be there.
Well, I think people will be checking a lot of different camps to be seeing what is and is not dropping. Previously on progression servers, there were server-wide messaging about targets being killed for the first time. Will that still be available?
Yeah, that's still there.
Awesome. That's definitely something exciting to be the first on a given server to kill a specific target. And the last question has about the world is about boats and translocators.
Unfortunately, the boats are still their flaky self, so we need the translocators there to guarantee that you're able to get to where you want to go and not depend on the boats not being there.
Yeah. Swimming through Ocean of Ocean of Tears is definitely an old school experience, but you don't have to do it.
Not a good one.
No, not a good one.
Okay, so we've talked about the world. Let's talk about characters and classes. Can people start off in the tutorial on for the progression server?
Not until it came in, which I believe was just after Blades of Power. I'm actually drawing a blank on which one it's locked to, but it is not available at launch and won't be for some time.
Okay, well, those will be some rowdy newbie zones on the opening day. I can guarantee that. How about some of the classes that were added later? Beast Lords, Berserkers?
Those classes, like Beast Lords and Berserkers, will open up with their appropriate expansion. But there were some things added later, like Halfling Rangers and Paladins. Those weren't locked to anything specific. They were just added to those races. So those will be available immediately. But the new classes, you have to wait until their expansion opens. And the same goes true for the new races. You can't get a Vashir until Luckland.
Okay. Now, the bards have certainly been asking this. Will the melody command be in at launch?
Yes, the melody command will be available. It wasn't locked in any particular expansion. It was actually just a side project by one of the devs at the time. So, yes, you'll still have melody.
Well, that's a huge amount of convenience, although those who can twist extremely well still have that advantage.
Some like the convenience, some don't.
Okay.
Some people hate their wrists.
So, obviously, the levels at which you gain spells has changed since the launch of EverQuest. Are we going with the new spell level assignments?
Yeah, the spell data is shared between live and progression, so it's going to be how it is on live now. You know, the tier system was kind of neat, but really the more goals faster is what we like, so that's what we're going with.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate having at least something to look forward to every level. There's never a level where I don't say, oh, there's something I want here.
Right.
Okay. Now a question that has probably been asked more than any other, and the subject of more discussion than anything else is voting. Can we talk a little bit about why we decided to do voting?
Well, part of it came from a philosophical conversation. You know, players asked for a progression server that would be locked to Velius or something resembling a classic server in that way. And to us, it was sort of an intellectual discussion of would the players actually really want that, or would they get bored and want to actually move on? So we thought, make a voting system so players can decide when they are actually ready to move on, and decided we should just go ahead and do that for every expansion.
Right, and also the voting system that we're putting in is very flexible, so we'll be able to use it for a lot of other things in the future, not just this particular application. We have some interesting plans that we're not ready to announce yet, but the voting system will definitely get utilized since it's a whole brand new system. It's not the polling system that you see when you log in. It's something that's brand new. There's in-game dedicated UI, new database storage, etc. So,
Well, I think that really being able to accurately poll the entire player base or portions of it.
right, and it's very flexible. We can limit it to certain players. We can limit it to, dark elf females if we want, whatever.
I think that's awesome. So, do we want to talk about any of the limits we're going to put on who can vote on the server?
We haven't nailed it down exactly, but our current thoughts are you have to be at least level 30, and of course only the progression server will get the poll. So you have to be on the progression server and at least level 30 to be able to vote to unlock the next expansion. And we may continue to raise that limit as the expansions continue. This is mostly to keep people from other servers just logging in to skew the poll results. You have to actually have spent some time playing on the server to be able to vote.
Okay. Well, I think that that gives a pretty good overview. Is there any other little bits of information you guys would like to share, or anything that comes to mind?
Well, we've spent the last couple of months going through going through the zones, and did we just lose the stream again?
Yeah, we lost the stream.
Yeah.
Nice timing.